In today's video, I will test a 1-minute scalping strategy sent by one of you guys with the goal to find out if it makes money. I will backtest it 100 times with an initial account size set at $1,000 with 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. I will also try to improve this strategy in the second part of this video, so stay tuned for that. The person who shared this strategy, Johannes Subaggio, mentioned that I should backtest it on a EUR/USD 1-minute time frame. And the indicators we're going to be using are called Awesome Oscillator Plus MACD, this indicator by Minox, and the ADX multi-time frame. ADX multi-time frame by Ken Leshim. Okay, before we get into the trading rules, let's first adjust these indicators. So let's first access the settings on this Awesome Oscillator Plus MACD. And in the style section, let's disable these two plots. The next step will be to add two horizontal lines at 0.0010 and minus 0.0010. Okay, now let's make some adjustments to this ADX indicator. So first let's change the ADX length from 14 to 12 and the ADX limit from 20 to 25. Also let's disable this option. And in the style section, let's get rid of this 50 level. Alright, the strategy is ready, now let's understand the entry rules. Okay, so for a long position to be valid, we need to have a new blue circle appeared below the minus 0.0010 level. The blue circle indicates that the green line crossed above the orange line. And if this cross happens below this particular level, the security is considered oversold. And the second condition for entering a long position is to have the ADX multi-time frame indicator colored in green. We will place a buy order at the close of our trigger candlestick. Our stop loss can be set at the recent swing low. But if you're struggling to find a recent swing low, you can place it at the distance of 25 to 30 pips. And for this particular strategy, we will be targeting 2 times the risk. Exactly opposite is true for short positions. First, the Awesome Oscillator has to print a red circle above this 0.0010 level. This indicates that the green line crosses the orange line downwards. And the second condition is to have the ADX histogram red color. Our stop loss will be set at the recent swing high. And again, if you can't find it, you can place it at the distance of 25 to 30 pips. And we will be targeting 2 times the risk. Just by looking at this strategy, I can tell that this is a momentum-based reversal trading strategy. As we can see, a buy signal is issued when the price action is at the bottom. I tested multiple reversal strategies on my channel, and if you watch them videos, you probably know that those strategies do not perform that well. Even though we do have a second confirmation indicator on our chart that filters out a lot of fake signals, I think this strategy will give us pretty average results. If we take a look at some of these signals, we see that we're taking long trades when the overall trend is moving downwards. And as we all know by now, if we really want to win in this market, we should always go with a trend. So ideally, we want to build a trading strategy that would give us sell signals when the overall trend is bearish and buy signals when the trend is bullish. This way, the probability of you entering a trade at the right price increases a lot. Okay, enough talking, let's actually do our backtesting to see how well this strategy would perform in different market conditions. Alright, I just done a backtesting and here are the results. The win rate for this strategy is only 37% and we increased our account size by 19.53%. We also see that the profit factor is only 1.17 and we had 4 consecutive wins against 10 consecutive losses. And this losing streak is not good at all. Okay, so what can we actually do to improve this strategy? After spending around 3 hours, I did come up with something interesting. So here we have a combination of 3 indicators. I did get rid of that ADX multi-time frame indicator and I added a regular ADX with DI. Also in the star section I did disable these 2 lines and I made this ADX line a bit more visible. And the reason I added this indicator to the chart is to identify the times when the market volatility is extremely high. Notice when the market starts trending, the ADX line is usually above the 20 level and is pointing upwards. And it doesn't really matter what direction the price action is moving. If the volatility in the market increases, the ADX line indicates that. And this tool is really useful because it keeps us out the range in market. We see when the price action is moving sideways, the ADX line is usually below the 20 level and is pointing downwards. Okay, now let's move on to this awesome oscillator plus MACD. Notice that I got rid of these two levels. I did tweak the settings and change the inputs. Also in the star section, I enabled the second plot. And finally, for the third indicator, I added the SSL hybrid. So what I basically did, I changed the baseline length from 60 to 200. I also changed the baseline type to McGinley. In the star section, I got rid of everything except for these bar colors. We see when the trend is bullish, the bars are blue color, and when the trend is bearish, the bars are red. Okay, now let's move on to the trading rules. So here are the conditions for entering a sell position. First, the bars have to be red color. Second, the awesome oscillator has to print a red circle below the 0 level. And third, the ADX line must be above the 20 level and it's pointing upwards. The awesome oscillator is still our first confirmation indicator, and if the rest of our conditions are not met at the time it issues a signal, we're simply gonna skip the trade. Our stop loss will be set at the recent swing high, and the take profit target will stay the same. If the recent swing high is too far away from your entry price, you can place your stop loss at the distance of 30 pips. Exactly opposite rules apply for long trades. First, we're only going to be looking to buy if the candles are blue color. Second, the awesome oscillator has to print a blue circle above the 0 level. And third, the ADX line is above the 20 level and is pointing upwards. Our stop loss will be set at the recent swing low. And we will be targeting 2 times the risk. And with this strategy, we're not going against the trend, we're simply taking trades in the direction of the prevailing trend. And I think the SSL hybrid is doing a great job at identifying the overall trend direction, and it also makes it so easy to read the charts. Okay, now let's do our second backtesting to see if the results for this strategy are any better. Alright, so these are the results after 100 trades. Right away we can see that the win rate has increased to 62%. I think it's really high for such a risk-reward ratio. We also gained 428.03% of profits on our account. The profit factor is 3.26 and we had 7 consecutive wins against 3 consecutive losses. Notice how well we reduced our losing streaks, and now the equity curve looks much more stable. So I definitely recommend this strategy. Go ahead and backtest it and forward test it on different markets and different time frames as well. Also, let's thank Johannes for sharing his strategy with us. By the way guys, if you have any good strategies and you want me to backtest them, please send them over to my email. Also, if you want to know how to improve the win rate for any strategy to up to 70 or even 80%, check out this video right here.